Weak glutes can lead to falls and instability when walking. Well, what are the glutes? The glutes are large muscles on the back portion of the hip. There are three of them: gluteus maximus, gluteus medius, and gluteus minimus. It's important that you strengthen them. They help keep the pelvis in line when walking. They also help keep the femur in line, therefore keeping the knee in line when walking. They can help with stability and balance. The glutes also help with single leg stance, which is important for walking. Every time you take a step, you go into a single leg stance on one leg. So it is important that you keep these glutes strong and healthy. Therefore, you can keep your strength, your independence, and your mobility while reducing your falls. So let's jump into some glute strengthening exercises we can do together. Let's go. All right, here we are. We're going to work on a few glute strengthening exercises. The first ones we're going to do in standing, followed by some lying exercises. So in standing, we're going to be working on gluteus movements, gluteus strengthening. So what I want you to do, you're going to be standing. You're going to do a single leg stance. If you need to, grab hold of a chair or even a stick. That stick can help you maintain your stability, or like I said, grab a chair or a kitchen counter. First thing you're going to do is standing on one leg, bend that knee, and you're going to kick back. As you kick back, I want you to tighten up that glute and then relax back down. Kick back that glute, relax back down. This does require some single leg stance. While you're on that single leg stance, the glute is actually having to stabilize the pelvis so that it doesn't drop. So you're working the glute on the leg that you're standing on, as well as when you kick that back, tighten up that glute. You should feel it. You should feel that good contraction right there. I want you to work a few of those. Like I said, if balance is an issue, which this is difficult to maintain balance while doing, so make sure you have something to hang on to. But like I said, a little bend there. With the bend, you get a little bit of hamstring contraction, and then the extension in the hip, you get that nice good glute contraction. Try to keep your pelvis level or your hips level and do 10 to 15 of those. You'll want to switch. Do both legs. Don't focus on one leg, but of course, work both sides. Really focus on tightening up. It sounds weird, but tighten up that butt cheek when you kick that back. If that's irritating the hamstring, sometimes people will get hamstring cramping with this. Don't bend the knee quite so much. So try to get a little less knee bend and a little more kick there. The next one we're going to go into is out to the side. So the first one got a little more gluteus maximus. Now we're going to kind of shoot that hip out to the side. So I'm going to kind of come at an angle here from the camera and out to the side and in and out. If you can, I would like you to keep that foot floating throughout. So this leg that I'm standing on is getting a workout because it's keeping the pelvis level. And this one here is getting a hip abduction. Again, focus on, try to contract that glute. It's almost like you're squeezing that butt cheek while you're doing that. Remember, keep the stick or a chair to hang on to out to the side. You want to make sure to get both. Do 10 or 15 reps of each of these. You can do a couple of sets, but the most important thing is just come to where you are. If doing 5 or 6 really fatigues that leg, or you really get tired doing that, then just do a few. Again, if you can, float that leg. It'll make it more challenging and more fatiguing. And the next one we're going to go into is a walking lunge. So again, use a stick or a countertop, but you're going to step forward with one leg, hanging on to that countertop, and you're going to go straight down and push back up. When you push back up, I want you to tighten up your glutes. So it's, again, squeeze those butt cheeks. Take that little step forward, down, and up. Again, the important thing is just do what you can. If you take that little step forward and you got to do a little baby lunge and back up, tighten up that glute. Baby lunge, back up, tighten up that glute. That's okay. If you're more advanced, take that step and lunge deeper. The more advanced you are, the deeper you can lunge. You can alternate side to side, left and right, or you can push through on one leg several times, and switch the other side. So either or, it doesn't matter, but that's a great one. But again, as you're coming up, really try to push through and tighten that glute as you perform that exercise. Our next one is going to be a transition into our laying exercise. It's kind of in between because it's not standing, it's not sitting, it's both. This one is controlled sit to stands, okay? It's not that uncommon that when people go to sit down, they just flop. I want you to make sure you're not flopping on these. You've got to come up and down, very controlled. If it's too difficult to go that low into a chair, put a pillow down and touch the chair, or touch the pillow, excuse me. So accommodate how you need to. But you're going to go down very slowly. As you do that, you're going to bring your nose kind of over the top of your toes and up. I want you to sit down like a butterfly landing on a flower. So gracefully, so gently, because it's important when you just flop down or even go down fast, you're not getting that muscular contraction out of the glute that you should be. So come up and then slow back down. Again, imagine that butterfly landing on a flower so gently, and back up. If you can, do them kind of continuously. As that butt hits the chair, back up. Butt touches the chair, back up. But if you need to, go down, rest momentarily, and back up. Again, use a stick if you need to kind of push through. You can always push through the seated surface if you need to. But I want you to focus on pushing through the legs as much as possible. All right, now we're going to jump into our laying exercises. The first one, it's going to sound silly, but it's just clench your butt cheeks. It's just a butt cheek isometric, so you're really not doing any movement. Clench those butt cheeks. Do 5 or 10 of those to kind of get things warmed up in this laying position. And then after that, you're going to start doing bridges. Bridges are right here. Knees are bent. Hips are bent. And you're going to push up. You're pushing through your feet. So it's like you're trying to push those feet down into the table. As you come up, squeeze your butt cheek. Tighten up those glutes. Hold it there for 2 or 3 seconds if you can, and back down. Up and down. It's important. It sounds weird, but if you don't tighten up that butt cheek as you're coming up, you're maybe not getting as much glute activation as you could be. So really try and squeeze those butt cheeks while you're trying to come up. That way you're working those glutes. Okay? So that one's not too bad. Do 10 or 15, do 2 or 3 sets. You can do these on a bed, you can do these on a couch, you can do these on the floor. If you're going to do them on the floor, make sure that you're able to get up and down from the floor independently. Otherwise, do them from your couch or from your bed. The next one we're going to do is right here, sideline. So you're laying on your side. We're going to do both sides, but for this instance, to show the camera, I'm going to be right here. You're going to have your hips and knees bent still, so it's basically the same position, but just coming to your side. Heels are together, and you're lifting your knee, rotating that hip. I want you to notice I'm trying to keep my pelvis stationary here, because if I roll like this, I'm not getting the exercise. I'm not getting the strengthening through that glute that I need. I want to isolate the hip movement. So I'm trying not to move my trunk. I'm keeping my hips stacked right on top of each other and up and down that way. You should, after 10 or 15 reps, you'll start to feel that glute kind of burn a little bit. You'll feel it working. Muscle burn is good, or muscle fatigue is good. If it's painful, slow down or stop, take a break, or do something different, look up another exercise. But you have to recognize the difference between pain and muscle fatigue, muscle working. So like I said, up and down there. I'm going to flip around so you can see the other direction. Right here, notice I'm trying to keep my hips stacked on top of each other, stationary. My heels are together, my knees up, up, up. Good. If that gets too easy, you can float that heel and do it from there. That makes it even more challenging. But for beginners, start with just the heels together, knees together, lift that knee, try not to roll. Perfect. And the way we're gonna finish up is right in the same position, sideline, this bottom leg, knee bent still, hip bent. You're gonna straighten the top leg, point that toe downwards, and I want you to come up, tap the toe. So it's like you're trying to tap your toe, not the rest of the foot. Tap the toe, tap the toe. You'll feel this. You'll feel this working in the butt. A lot of people will try and cheat this one. They will roll forward and try and come this way. If you roll like this and come up and down, you're working your hip flexor right there, not your glute. You gotta almost like you're trying to roll onto your belly, but you didn't get all the way there, and up and down there. Again, try not to shift those hips forward or back too much. Keep it a little bit angled. Keep that hip a little bit angled forward. Up and up and up. I'm going to switch ways so you can see another angle. Bottom leg is still bent. You're kind of keeping that hip almost pointed downwards. Toe touching the mat. And up and up and up. Something that I think is helpful for this one is while you're doing this, make sure you're not kicking that foot forward. It's very important you almost bias towards kicking backwards, okay? Or it's either straight up to the side or kicking up and back. That's gonna work the glute so much more than if you roll that pelvis, and you'll feel the difference. If you're doing it correctly, you'll feel that butt really working. So keep those glutes strong. That's what's gonna help keep you independent. It's gonna help save your knees, and it's also gonna help you with your balance. So keep exercising. If this has been helpful, please subscribe. That helps me make more videos for viewers like you.